One Universalist church, building community, inspiring growth, creating change. Here in the heart of Kansas City, we come together to create this hour of shared reflection so that we might be renewed in courage for these times and inspired to lives of greater dignity, higher purpose, deeper generosity, and more effective action. May the words and music and images that we offer today nourish our best selves, calling forth abundant wisdom and love, a love that has the power to overcome both loneliness in the heart and oppression in the world. Welcome to our service.
Arise, O souls, arise.
Good morning. I'm Don Dickey, a member of All Souls, and it's my privilege to welcome you here on this nice, warm day. Whether you are here in the room or watching online, we're glad you're here. Your presence enriches all of us and our time together. We are a Unitarian Universalist congregation. Our tradition is a large tent with room for many beliefs and approaches to the questions that matter. It is our values of inclusion, compassion, and justice that hold us together. We seek to build the beloved community, making room for everyone and creating a world where everyone's needs are met. You may be new here this morning. Welcome. We know that your first time attending a church, you may want to keep a low profile and just check things out quietly. That's great. We are glad you're here. And if you are a visitor and excited to be here, and to let us all know that you are, we invite you to raise your hand at this time. Do we have some visitors? We have one right here. Welcome. Thank you for enriching all of us with your presence today. Whoever you are, whomever you love, wherever you are on your spiritual journey, you are welcome here. Whether you come with laughter in your heart or tears, you are welcome here. You are invited to join us with an open mind, a loving heart, and willing hands. We welcome you here today. Our candle of memory burns today for Louis Riemenschneider, who passed away recently at the age of 94. Louis was one of our most active members, serving on the Facilities Committee and Green Sanctuary. He was predeceased by his wife, Beverly, in 2017.
Before we begin, I need to tell you that Melanie is homesick and won't be helping us bless the teachers this morning. And also Amy Robertson, I wrote that wrong, Amy Robertson is also not feeling well. So Scott Hensey has stepped in to present the first reading. Fall is upon us, and with it comes not only new, different seasonal allergies, but also the wider spread of viruses. As a community based in love, it is upon each of us to protect one another as best we can. Do not feel embarrassed to wear a mask to church. Do not feel like you've let anyone down or missed out if you stay home and watch online. Melanie and Amy made great decisions not to come to church sick. Wearing a mask to church isn't antisocial or weird. It's protection for yourself and everyone you love. It's also protection for everyone else here, just in case you could be spreading something without knowing it. My worst nightmare is that a member of our community contracts something here that puts them in the hospital or worse. We take care of one another. These opening words are adapted from those by Jules Jaramillo. This morning, we gather together to worship as a community of all ages. Let us take a moment to look around at those of us sharing this sacred space. Let us recognize the hearts of our whole community, from our elders to our youngest and all the ages in between. Let us embody the beauty of this whole church community, even when there are a few more wiggles, giggles, and chatter, clearly from our elders. Let us remind ourselves to listen carefully, calming our bodies and our minds. Begin by breathing peace and joy into this sacred space with 3 breaths. Know that you are surrounded by the love of this community where all are welcome. Let us worship together.
Our chalice lighting words are by the Reverend Michelle Collins. We light this chalice in honor of the families we build, the circles we choose, the bonds shaped by care. May this flame remind us that love is the tie that makes us kin. Please stand as you are able and join in the affirmation of our covenant, then remain standing as we join together in song. Together we affirm, goodwill is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another.
Each other.
Normally, we would do this ritual with me and Melanie working together. And so it's a little bit interesting that I get to do it by myself today, but know that she really wishes she could be here. I might get some of my pronoun number wrong because the script's written for two of us. I'd like to invite our children and teenagers to come up here and sit on the steps over there to help us bless your teachers. Come on up. We need your help because we need to bless your teachers, and we can't do that without you. So come sit over here. Perfect. Because all of us, wow, there's so many of you. It's wonderful. Yes. This is what a growing church looks like. All of us believe that you are amazing, and we want you to learn and grow with your open minds, your loving hearts, and your helping hands. The ancient Greek philosopher Heraclitus of Ephesus is famous for one belief. He taught his students that change is certain. And because things always change, he declared, we can never step twice in the same stream. So too, our congregation today differs from the congregation last year and the year before that. And yet, last year is still in most of our collective memory, and the year before, and the year before that. Now, each year, we save some of our water ceremony water, and we use it for rituals and to begin the next year's water ceremony. In that way, the past is carried on with the present, because our past is always with us. And our water this year had a tiny bit of the water from when All Souls first started having water ceremony. So it is with generations. Each new child brings new ideas and new perceptions to our community. Those who help our children grow, our teachers, are the bridge between the old and the new. And so it is fitting that we call forward our teachers, who guide our children to the house of tomorrow, and we will bless their hands for this sacred work. So the water in this pitcher is from last week's ceremony. It has been boiled and filtered for safety. Teachers for this year, as I read your names, I invite you forward to have your hands blessed with this water. Note, there are paper towels and a place to put them. Devin Armstrong, Jonathan Armstrong, Willow Chrysovan, Ann Edson, Afra Maria Karaya, Ari Leva, Jason Lichten, Erin Liner, Bob Miller, Lanisa Robinson, Walden Robinson, Joe Skojak, Carissa Stevens. Through your hands, we create promise for tomorrow. Also, Eleanor Warren. Through your hands, we create promise for tomorrow. Go ahead. Through your hands, we have promise for tomorrow. Through your hands, we create promise for tomorrow. Through your hands, we create promise for tomorrow. Through your hands, we create promise for tomorrow.
Say a prayer for the children all around the earth. Say a prayer for little hearts and every blessed word. Guard them as your treasure.
blessings upon our teachers, and this is when I need all y'all. Will you please stand up? And I need you to repeat after me. I'll give you a phrase at a time. Please help us to grow with open minds, loving hearts, and helping hands. And if you can read, you'll be able to read the congregational words up there with the grown-ups, or else you can just pretend. Congregation, please rise in body or spirit. Let us also bless our teachers. I start. Today we begin our year of religious education, not with teaching, but with blessing. We, the congregation, our teachers and classroom assistants, to your task of care and challenge. May your classes be a joy. May they be spiritually fulfilling. May they be places of growth. Grow in knowledge, grow in wisdom, grow in boldness. For it is in giving that we receive, and in using our talents that we ourselves learn. Let us give our teachers and students a round of applause because they are awesome. And I am going to invite children to go to their classes, and if you want to high-five me when you go past, please do. Let us sing our children.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Ari Leva. Some of you might not recognize me without a tall white lady standing next to me. That's my wife, Willow. We both teach Sunday school here at All Souls, and I speak for the both of us when I say that we really enjoyed teaching all of your kids. It's been a corrective experience for me for two reasons. Number one, I've always been kind of afraid of children. I'm still a little bit afraid of them, but they're really cute and fun is what I'm starting to realize. But two, I grew up Catholic, and so when Willow and I initially met and she told me she went to church, I was kind of like, oh, like, what do you mean you go to church? But when I first came to service here, I came on Trans Day Visibility, and you all did an offering, and I was like, okay, everybody passes the vibe check here. I'm happy to be here. And so saying that, I'm glad that UUs exist, and I'm also really glad that we are able to teach the youth, and I'm really glad that they can grow up and be taught a message that teaches nothing but love and joy and compassion. And so I'd like to ask you all today, in honor of that, if you could make an offering to not only the religious education program that we have here at All Souls, but also our lovely choir, if we could give them all a round of applause. Thank you. The offering will now be given.
We've cleared all the
Together, let us dedicate our offerings. We dedicate our offerings and our actions to the mission at the heart of this congregation, to build a respectful, caring community, to inspire personal and spiritual growth, and to create change toward a just and compassionate society.
Pardon me, for such a melodic and beautiful song, it carries such weight. Thank you. Honoring Children by UU Minister Reverend Dr. Linda Olson Peebles. Like so many who have paid attention to their children, I know that babies come to us with the fullness of being that lives and experiences and interacts with the world. Children are not just cute objects to be adored or sentimentalized. They are human beings in the fullest sense, and they can remind adults of what being a human being really means. Even in the first hours and weeks, a baby can communicate and be communicated with, can display personality and mannerisms, and can teach us how to see, love, and learn from us, how we respond and love in return. All children are full beings, open to the experience of living and loving. Their eyes seek to see everything. Their hands reach out to touch. Nurtured and supported, they love to learn, to create, to play, to engage life wholly. When we wrap our children in blankets, what threads are in that fabric? Each of us brings threads to the weaving of our environment. We seek to wrap our babies in cloth of soft threads, smooth or silky, comforting. But all too often we discover that the threads in the blanket around most children include the itchy lines of greed or arrogance, the scratchy web of hatred and uncaring. Babies around the world as they grow are all being scarred by the world that has enfolded them. What happens when that full humanness of a child is not nurtured and encouraged to grow? The child who is dehumanized, who is damaged, grows to be a person scarred and unable to see the humanity of a child or another adult. Whether it is consumerism, or mind-numbing media, or hunger and violence, or racism and narcissism. Our children are wounded by the blankets that we have inherited and that have wounded us. What should we be offering to comfort our babies, to guide our children? Should we tell stories about how to survive in a tough world, how to grow callous? If that is our answer to the pain, it will continue. We need to feed children, keep them safe from being dehumanized. We need to teach our children to follow their own inborn instincts and to develop these qualities which make them most human. These life-expressing skills include the capacity to reach out to others, to express their needs clearly, to offer smiles and love unconditionally, to see the world with non-judgmental, curious eyes, to get up from falls with courage. We need to teach our children to live out their love in this world and to remember how to be open to finding the love and nurture that a human being must have to thrive. And we need to see how the plight of our saddest children is a reflection of what we have brought to the fabric of our shared lives. Our sadness, our wounds, which must be healed and not passed on to more children. When we can truly believe in life and love and offer that gift to all the children, we can share the blessing of the sacredness of our being wholly human.
In 2022, a question was posted on Facebook. Why do people come to church? A UU religious educator offered the following responses. I love our church because everyone is welcome. We talk about things that are important. Because we teach OWL, and teaching about healthy relationships and healthy sexuality is counter to the popular dominant culture we live in. Because I want my child to be a Unitarian Universalist. Because I want my child to be accepting of other religions and still understand our own. And that's a favorite variant of I want my child to be tolerant. Because I am Jewish and my husband is Christian, and we want a place where a child doesn't feel pulled in two directions. Because I want a youth group where my teenager has friends and a support network. Because I want my children to have other adult mentors in their lives. Because I want my children to have a good religious education. Because church is fun. And my child likes to be here. And because church is important, even when my child doesn't want to be here. Because I need other parents for support. Because I need a break sometimes. Because I was raised UU and I want to share my faith with my child. Because I was raised in another church where my parents still go, and I want my child to have a faith I'm comfortable with teaching him, teaching them. Because I need a place that feels like I belong here. And that's a common answer in religiously conservative areas like Texas or Louisiana, where this UU educator had served. Because I am gay or transgender or queer or any of the many LGBTQ plus identities. And I want a place in our family life where my child doesn't have to defend that. Because I want my child to learn about the Bible without having to believe it literally. Because I want my child to learn spiritual practices that help them stay connected or in touch with their soul or help them through tough times. Because I want friends. Because I want my child or teen to have friends.
You've got to be taught to hate and fear. You've got to be taught
before I begin, some productions of Rodgers and Hammerstein's South Pacific, which is what that's from, don't include that song. Every day, it feels like I'm riding that ride at Disney World, the Tower of Terror. Maybe you've been on it. And there's that moment where the ride car that you're in moves into complete darkness. And you know that you're about to be lurched up and dropped repeatedly, never knowing how far you're going to fall. Have you been on that ride? Do you know that? Yes. Does that feeling feel familiar? Yeah. We can rationalize that the civil rights abuses from our government, the falling economy, the rising inflation rate, the censorship, the political violence, and the destruction of the social safety net happening all at once without stop is intentional. We can understand that the pace is designed to keep us reactive instead of proactive, that we're meant to feel helpless and afraid so that we do not push back, so that we acquiesce our rights and our freedoms without question because it seems inevitable. The Tower of Terror, every day, in the darkness, always ready to suddenly drop once again. It's exhausting being on high alert all the time. It's taken its toll on me. I'm sure it's taken a toll on you as well. So I invite you to take a deep breath, feel it filling your chest, and let it out. None of it's okay. And you're still here. You're still breathing. And look around. You're not alone. Now, what about the children? How does the state of our country, the world, affect our youngest? It would be naive to think that it doesn't. As adults, it's easy to assume that world events and politics don't affect kids. They're kids. They're not the ones going shopping and noticing that groceries have gotten more expensive. They don't know about housing prices because it's adults who lease or own their home. It's adults who worry about health care, about laws, about things that are happening to other people, whether here or in other parts of the world. Children are relatively carefree. Beyond school, homework, and activities, why should they worry? In his letter from the Birmingham jail, the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. wrote, "Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. We are caught in an inescapable network of mutuality, tied in a single garment of destiny. Whatever affects one directly affects all indirectly. Current events are affecting children of all ages, and we must remember this. When ICE and related agencies arrest people suspected of being undocumented immigrants or documented immigrants at appointments and hearings to remain or become documented, or citizens who happen to appear Hispanic or Latino, children come home from school to find their caregiver gone. Sometimes it's both of their parents. They're simply not there. And those caregivers often spend multiple days or weeks in detention, usually hundreds or thousands of miles from home, possibly then simply to be released after being traumatized, and possibly to be deported to whatever place the government found convenient. disappeared not only from society, but from their children's lives. Caregiving one day, gone the next. You know what this does to families. You know what children pick up when a citizen or a white parent of a friend takes them to school so that their own caregivers can stay in the house, protected from ICE. You know they are trying to hold the reality that their caregivers may suddenly be gone. Children. You know that they pick up on the fear that ICE agents may be waiting at their school, ready to disappear them too. The way that many of us try to manage knowing this while also needing to participate in our own lives is by reminding ourselves that it's not our own children. We don't want to acknowledge that, but that's where I would go first. And most of us are white, and most of us have adequate resources. Most of us are citizens. Our children are citizens, and so we mourn the reality. Thank whatever it is out there that we might thank, and reassure ourselves that we are not suffering from this, that our children are not suffering from this. But that network of mutuality is real, and it is strong. Does your child or grandchild or nibbling, if I just taught you a new word, nibbling is a gender-neutral word for niece or nephew. Important things to know. Do they go to school with other kids who might have undocumented people in their families? Do they have a friend who knows someone? Are they connected on social media with a friend of a friend of a friend whose parent or caregiver was suddenly kidnapped by ICE? Have they seen this happen to someone else on the street? Or have they seen the videos of this on TikTok or Insta or YouTube or whatever it is they're watching now? It affects children. And through their connections, it affects the children in our lives in some small but real way. Tied into a single garment, it affects the children. I was in high school when the Columbine High School mass shooting happened. It affected me in Illinois. While I was largely segregated in special arts classes during 4th through 6th grade, those classes were still at a huge middle school with more than 1,000 students. No, my classmates and I weren't involved in drugs or gangs or fights, but we had to walk through the clouds of pepper spray in the hallways after a fight as 4th graders. We were afraid when we learned that a student had pulled a gun on another student. And again, 4th graders asking our parents to pick us up after school instead of taking the bus. And then I heard that a kid who rode my bus had completed suicide with a gun, so we wouldn't see him on the bus anymore. How could this not affect me? How can any of this not affect children? You know that they've heard about Jimmy Kimmel. The government stepped in to censor a television comedian and ruin his career. It's not like kids are unfamiliar with censorship. They know about the book bans. They could really use easy access to the best information about sexuality, orientation, and gender because they're trying to figure out who they are on those axes, because they know someone, because of a family member. But school districts are denying them this access to published materials, forcing them to find information on the internet and answers from AI. Yes, there are excellent websites that provide facts in useful, age-appropriate ways. But does a child know how to recognize what is reputable and what is not? Do they really understand that ChatGPT will give them a string of words that create a sentence that sounds like it answers their question, but is not based on reputable information or appropriate educational resources? When will the school district shut down their school paper because a student wrote something deemed inappropriate? What are children to make of their school play being shut down at the last minute for the same reason? Children know. They learn what they see around them, and that includes poverty and classmates who do not have appropriate housing. There are police officers in their schools, and it's hard to reconcile officer friendly with the uniformed officer who just tackled their classmate to the ground, cuffed them, and sent them to jail for refusing to do what the teacher asked. They see who among their classmates receive this treatment and who among their classmates are simply chastised for the same behavior. They may not have the name, but they know what the school to prison pipeline is. They see the racial profiling, the system that is set up to divide this kind of student from that kind of student. And the children know that you are not entirely okay right now. They can tell that something is off about the adults around them, because all of us depend on co-regulation to keep our nervous systems doing the right things at the right time, and that is particularly true of children. They may not realize it consciously, but their bodies can tell that your heart rate is fast. They can feel that you don't breathe as easily. It's not worth hiding it because they know on the most instinctual level that you are afraid, that their teachers are afraid. They feel the fear in all of the adults around them, and for the youngest, they have no idea why. But they embody that fear on some level. The fear and the anger that they sense from the adults in their lives make them just that little bit on edge, a little bit afraid and angry, because our dysregulation makes them dysregulated. It's a pattern called generational trauma, that the trauma held by one generation is passed unconsciously on to the next generation and the next. Dysregulation leads to dysregulation. In sometimes subtle ways, adults teach children to be afraid in the ways that they were taught to be afraid. Nervous systems that learn to be afraid stay afraid, unless they can learn safety and how to create safety. I've told you before, even just a few weeks ago, that I learned recently that church was my safe place growing up. The teasing at school made school unsafe. The high expectations, along with my father's temper, made home unsafe. But at church, there were adults who cared about me. I remember Bill Paulson, in blessed memory, who was over 70 at the time, and he'd let little toddler Erin carry the big percolator for the choir, from the choir loft to the hallway sink and counter every week. They always commented, "Oh, it's almost bigger than she is." The choir members knew my name, and they talked to me like what I had to say mattered. And I played with the other children. I was rarely put down and often included. Yes, I learned things in classes, but religions and the Bible and famous Unitarian Universalists. I studied the principles, even though I have never actually memorized them. But what I gained from church really had nothing to do with the formal education. It's not what I remember about church. What I remember was feeling like I belonged. I remember feeling that the church was my other home. I was acknowledged and greeted and sometimes picked up and twirled around. I knew that I mattered, and that gave me this deep sense that I belonged. I was safe, and that mattered immensely in my life. This is what we do when we include children at church. We create for them intentionally a place where they belong. We intentionally create a place where they know that adults not in their families care about them. we intentionally help them to feel safe. When everyone around them is afraid and their friends' parents or even their friends are disappeared by ICE, we assure them and make space for their fear and grief. When the government rescinds free speech, we give them a chance to speak their truth, and we actually listen to what they have to say. When incarceration and arrest touches their lives, we provide them with time and space and toys for free play, for their imaginations to run wild, for them to make use of their physical and mental freedom. And it's your job to offer this to the children. Don't simply expect that their religious education teachers are doing it. We know that they are. But step in yourself to learn a child's name and greet them every Sunday when you see them. Stop for a moment and ask them something that matters to them. What's their stuffed animal's name? How is that stuffed animal doing today? Which usually the answer is how they're doing, but in the sneaky way that it feels less vulnerable. What are they looking forward to? When did they last eat their favorite food? Would they like a hug? Can they help with this simple task that needs to be done? Kids know that their teachers have to be nice to them. But other adults at church, that feels like really belonging because you show that they matter. Even though there's no reason that you're supposed to. With the note, it's best to always check with the child before touching them. It creates the sense of bodily autonomy that will protect them from predation as they grow. I think we focus too much on the formal parts of church, like Sunday school, that programming is the point of church. But it's rarely the programming that gives us what we need from church. It's the interactions. It's getting to know people. It's feeling like we belong. And building community, helping our children know that they belong, is all of our work. It is the best education we can possibly give to them to help them navigate the world, to know what safety feels like, to know that they matter, to not just talk about love, but to feel it. You know just as I know that this is true not only for the children, but every single person here. Learning more about what's happening politically and economically isn't what's going to help us survive, not really. It will help us create our resistance. It will help us guide our children in finding their own age-appropriate resistance. But we survive by belonging. We survive by letting the soft animal of our body sink into knowing that we are safe. It is the greatest gift we have to offer our children. The greatest gift we can offer one another. Safety, belonging. May it be so, and amen. Please rise as you are willing and able, and we will sing together, How Could Anyone?
How could anyone ever tell you you were less than
warmth of community or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. I want to make sure, before we close, that everyone knows that you are invited after the service to view and celebrate the new murals in the religious education hallway. They were designed by All Souls member and artist Jack Dethridge. And he and a group of volunteers painted it. Go downstairs, enjoy cake. May you be held by all that is holy, by those around you, held in safety, held in care, holding our children ever the same, so they belong, because you belong.